about to start doing some tuning on the STi here. So just a reminder, we've got a BCP 500 turbo. We've got an IAG built short block. We've got a head built with a bunch of GSE valve train, and obviously the link ECU. So we're gonna do a 93 octane tune. We're not gonna get really aggressive with it because the customer doesn't really care. Do some 93 octane tuning, make sure that it's good and safe, and it's gonna make some decent power. And then obviously we're going to drain out the fuel, add some E85, and then turn it up. So like I said, we're gonna play around. It also does have an external gate. I think the gate spring is like 10 or 12 PSI or something like that. All right, so we're gonna do our first hit here. We're gonna do some logging, and again, this is wastegate only pressure just to kind of see where we're at. But yeah, so we're gonna do our first pass. It's gonna be a 4th gear run, and then we'll take it up. I'm obviously keeping an eye on the laptop just to make that the AFRs look good, and then we'll make some changes and go from there. So if there's any issues, then we'll go ahead and we'll end that run early. All right, so we finally got a decent run in. Our boost control ends up at 17 PSI or so on pump, which is still not super high in my opinion, but it did run like extremely rich, which is what we kind of expected. So I'm gonna let it cool down now that we finally were able to get like a full throttle run out of it and make some changes to the boost limiter table and then the fuel tables now, and then we'll do another run right after. Okay, so in our log, we're actually getting a small amount of spike right here, right at 5,200 RPMs or so, and that's actually what's causing the cut to activate. After that, it does fall down to 14 PSI by red line, but on that last run, it was just pick rich. I mean, it's 0.7, we'll say 0.7 lambda. So it is running pretty damn rich for 93 at this level of boost. So I pulled some more out of the fuel table just to kind of get it going. And then we will, we're gonna let it cool down for a little bit, and then we'll do another test hit to see kind of where we're at. So we really... So we were able to achieve 14 pounds of boost. Now we are going to see if we can turn this sucker up and see how much more boost we can run on 93. So power's looking pretty good. I think our last run, 17.7 PSI or 18 PSI, I think, net us at 360. That kind of puts us about where this turbo produces from what I've seen online. You can also see that the cams are working though. So it really wants to go further. The problem is that this car doesn't have a crank damper, and I don't think it has any oil pump mods to rev it out any further, but you can see that it's not dropping off. Like, it wants to climb. Torque obviously is starting to peak out, which is normal after the 5250. But like I said, our horsepower just wants to keep climbing, and that's on every run that we've done at lower boost levels. It just keeps climbing, so it really wants more. So we got boost control kind of dialed in open loop mode. We're switching over to closed loop mode, and so we're going to do a couple more passes here just to make sure that everything tracks like it's supposed to. So closed loop mode, for those who do not know, it's basically allowing the ECU to make changes as it needs. So we kind of dialed in the numbers. You have to dial in your open loop settings. That way, you know, like, you know, if you add X amount of percentage, it produces X amount of PSI. Then from there, So we're gonna look at the log error here. I know it's gonna be kind of fuzzy for you guys, but hopefully you can see it. But this very bottom value is our error. That means how far off it is, and then our actual target above. And then you can see that our error is pretty damn close. I mean, literally a couple kPa. And now keep in mind that, you know, obviously we have to look into where the boost starts to level out, which is this green line here. And that's really all we're concerned about. The error is going to be really large as the turbo is spooling. But as you can see here, that our error, once it bottoms out, is less than 10 kPa. So that's definitely more, good enough for me. I'm super happy with that. So I'd say closed loop for the most part is already dialed in. And so now at this point, we're gonna let the car cool down. We're gonna check all of our fluids since we've got a couple runs in it. And then just make sure everything is kosher there. So the thing, so the last two runs didn't yield any real power. They're basically about the same with each other. So like I said, adding 2 degrees of timing didn't really seem to net anything. And yes, there is about roughly 9 horsepower loss from 360 to our very last run. And so that could potentially be from heat soak or whatever, or it could be actually from the tires heating up and deforming. So what we normally do is I really think that these two are more accurate than the 360. So it doesn't really surprise me too much, but we'll leave that at 361 since we were able to do 2 separate passes and it netted basically within 5 horsepower of each other. So we'll leave that alone, but we'll average the runs all together. That way Alrighty, so I took the last 3 runs and I averaged them out, and this is what we've ended up at: 354 and 287 horsepower basically. So at this point, I think we're gonna call this one good. We're gonna go ahead and pump out the 93 octane and then switch it over to E85. Okay, so now as you guys can see, we've got the fuel out of it. We're gonna go ahead and start making our adjustments here to get it set up for the secondary fuel source, which is obviously E85. So there's quite a few changes that have to be made, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with all that. I'm just gonna make these changes really quick. Just know that most of this, believe it or not, is actually in the manual for Link ECU. So we'll go ahead and get this switched over, and then we will try to get this all set up. Alrighty, so we've got the car still running. I've just added basically all the tables in terms of like just having a dual table of everything: ignition, cranking, AFR, etc, etc. So that's basically it. We're gonna let the car run for the rest of the day as long as we can, try to get as much fuel out of it. The ethanol content kind of settled around E56, so that's a pretty good sign in my opinion. Once we get it pretty low, then at that point we'll top it off the rest, and hopefully we get something that's E70 or better, and then we can actually start tuning.
The next day.
All right, so last night it ran out of fuel, and I've put, I think, 4 gallons of E85 into the car. And I did the basic setup to see kind of where it's at yesterday. So I don't know what the ethanol content landed us at, but it definitely ran out of fuel. It's currently 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So it should, I would imagine that it's gonna start halfway decent. But let's see what it does on our first start. Not too bad. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. All right, so it starts up pretty good. It's not freezing cold. I guess we'll know here when it actually becomes super cold in Texas, which is basically never, by the way. Unless my wife actually doesn't have anything for me to do over the weekend, so then hell freezes over. Anyways, with that being said, let's see where we're at in ethanol content. So we're at 74. So it started up pretty good on the first shot on 74. Now at this point, I'm going to let it run so it comes up to op temp. But I'm gonna let it run, let it get up to op temp, and then we'll start tuning again.